First of all, you'd better explain your negative income tax, because it's frequently misunderstood.
Yes, it certainly is. The proposal for a negative income tax is a proposal to help poor people by giving them money, which is what they need, rather than as now, by requiring them to come before a governmental official, detail all their assets and their liabilities, and be told that you may spend X dollars on rent, Y dollars on food, etc., and then be given a handout.
So we're going to have to consider new ways of thinking about these problems, like a universal income, review of our work week, how we retrain our young people, how we make everybody an entrepreneur at some level.
We have a problem. Let's fix it. I'm a big believer in the earned income tax credit. I would double it.
Really?
I would dramatically increase it. So get people in the workforce, give them the dignity of a job. That first rung on the ladder leads to the second rung on the ladder. Somehow minimum wage is not enough to give a living wage. Instead of just raising them, which could actually reduce jobs, I'd rather have the government, base it as a kind of a negative income tax and see more people at work.
We should explore ideas like universal basic income to make sure that everyone has a cushion to try new ideas.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
But what's been interesting is doing the research and finding out that this program, this idea is as old as this nation itself, that Thomas Paine was calling for this in the Agrarian Revolution. Dr. King was speaking about this before he was assassinated.
Well, the idea of a universal basic income appeals to me in part as a way of solving an economic problem, because as is highly publicized, we are looking at a growth of entitlement spending that is really scary and unsustainable deficits unless we do a major fix.
Welfare is designed to fail fundamentally. It penalizes people, it restricts them, it has so many conditions. Everybody focuses on the rates and how much people, that is only part of the story. The larger part is how restricting it is for people, how demeaning, how difficult it is once you're forced into that situation to get back out and do something. It doesn't do the kind of income smoothing. It chops your life up and makes it much harder.
Which is why you prefer the basic income.
Which is why I prefer the basic income.
I want to give it all away, but I want to figure out the most impactful way to do that. And what fascinates me the most is some of the ideas around universal basic income and some of the wealth, the racial wealth gap issues and the economic disparity.
How would you spend your time if your income were taken care of? Just think about that for a minute. What would you do, what would you choose to do if you didn't have to worry about covering the basics? If you knew that you could put food on the table, pay your rent on time, what would you do with your life?
Now, one of the answers, it seems to me, is a guaranteed annual income, a guaranteed minimum income for all people and for all families of our country. It seems to me that the civil rights movement must now begin to organize for the guaranteed annual income, begin to organize people all over our country, mobilize forces.
But the reason why Donald Trump is our president today is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs. This is going to rip through our economy in a very dramatic way. No one in Washington, D.C. will do anything about the set of problems you're talking about. Because this town is not a town of leaders, this is a town of followers. And the only way that we will do something is if you create a wave in other parts of the country and bring it crashing down on our heads. And that's the only way we will wake up. And you know what I said to that? I said, challenge fucking accepted.